Please like, subscribe, and be sure to click that bell button for regular and exciting indie film content and your chance to be the first to engage with the Liftoff Global Network of Film Festivals as we embark on launching the careers of the filmmakers of tomorrow.
Hello everyone and welcome to today's stream. Today we are joined with the audience choice winners from the October First Time Filmmaker Sessions and also the October Sessions. So thank you to everyone who is joining us here. I'm Natalie. And
I'm Freddie.
And we're hosting this session today. So John, I'm going to throw it over to you first. Could you please introduce yourself, what your project was called and your role on the film as well?
So I'm John Monaghan. I was the writer, director, and producer of Owner of a Lonely Heart.
Perfect. Thank you. Kat.
Hi there. My name is Kat Del Rey. My project was Plucked, and I was the creator, the director, and also my company produced it.
Fantastic. Thank you. So excited to hear more of both of your projects. Cuba. Oh, Cuba, you just got to unmute yourself.
So hi, I'm Kuba, or the longer form is Jakub Laskowski, and I'm the director of Heritage.
Perfect, thank you. Sebastian?
Hello, my name is Sebastian. My project was Mi Casa Su Casa, and I was the writer, producer, creative director, and also an actor in the film.
Perfect, thank you. And finally, Julie.
Hi, my name is Julie Juhijian. My film is called Happen to Happen. I'm the writer, producer, director, and music composer of the film.
Fantastic. So you did a lot on that film, which I can see all the instruments in the background, so we can find out more about that as the stream go on. Before I hand it over to Freddie to deal with the questions, I just want to let everyone know who's watching that the chat room is open. So if you have any questions for our filmmakers, feel free to put them in there and we will do our best to share that as the stream goes on. We've got quite a few people watching, which is fantastic. So filmmakers, don't be shy. Audience members, don't be shy. Ask questions and get involved in this stream. So John, we're going to start with you. Freddie, take it away.
Yes. So John, tell us about your film.
The inspiration.
My short film came from, we were kind of getting to the end of COVID lockdowns and we were looking to make a project because we hadn't done anything since before the pandemic. Me and my usual sort of group of friends and collaborators that we all made a few things together, short films, music videos. And there was a funding thing up with the Arts Council of Northern Ireland, which was a COVID relief fund to kind of fund projects to get people kind of creatives back out into work. We applied for it and we got funding for a short film and a music video with my production company producing both. And I was going over old ideas and I just had this kind of note in my phone of a widow on a speed date trying to put himself back out there, but everybody he sits down with at the speed date's a weirdo and it kind of puts him off. And he's struggling to kind of go through putting himself back out there. I hadn't done anything with the idea at all, it was just a note on my phone. So I ended up sitting down with my editor and he and me kind of worked out the story from there, and then we got the funding to go make it. So it kind of came out of that need of, you know, it's a bit of a rom-com as much as it is a drama, so something a bit lighter and fluffier, kind of coming out of a pandemic, and we had the means and the funding to kind of get it off the ground based on this old idea. So that's where it came from.
That's fantastic about the funding from Screen Island. Is it Screen Island, did you say?
The Arts Council.
Arts Council Island. We get a lot of filmmakers approaching all of the different funding bodies, so it's really great to hear when filmmakers secure it, and you were lucky enough to get 2 projects out of it, so thank you. That's really cool.
Yeah. So go through the questions.
All of them,
all the questions at
We're
once.
sticking with you, John.
Sticking with you. Yes, amazing. So what are your goals going forward from this?
It's just going to be, it's had a really great film festival run so far. Just before it was with Liftoff, which has been brilliant to be part of that so far and kind of get my daily updates every morning in the emails of how well the short was doing with audiences and stuff. it had just won an award like right before I got an email from Liftoff at the One Fluid Night Festival in London, which was its first ever film festival. And then coming up here, we're in Bradford Queer Film Festival this Friday, and we're down in Waterford for its International Film Festival. And then December we're in Cork, so it's done really well, and it's just kind of motivated me to just do more. Like
Good.
the more achievement we get from Owner of a Lonely Heart, it just makes me want to go straight into the next short and work with all those same people that we made the music video and the short with, because they were all amazing, and it would just be that's the thing I'm most excited for, is get another project and tell another story that I'm so passionate about, but also to kind of get all those people back, get the gang back together, if you will, and kind of just go make something fun and interesting with those people again. So that's been the goal now, is doing funding applications, and I'm sure all the other filmmakers, whether in the chat or on this call, can attest to the monotony of funding applications, but it is a means to an end, and we're going through those, me and my producer Declan at the minute, just trying to get some cash flow for the next one so we can get everybody back together and just go again.
It's so great to hear that you've had a successful festival run. So yeah, well done. That's so cool.
Yes, definitely. Sounds like you're very busy with that. What's something that you had to overcome in the making of this film, that challenge that you faced?
Well, we had a very big hurdle on our second last day. For anybody that's seen the short, it's in the scene where he ends up at the end of the speed date. He has a bit of a panic attack and retreats to the bathroom. That scene, as scripted, was at the front of the venue, and the two of them were supposed to sit side by side at the wall at the front of the venue of our filming location and have that same conversation about, you know, he doesn't have to go back in if he doesn't want to, but he decides to kind of muster up the courage to go in and give it one more try. And we filmed it in February of 2021, or 2022, sorry, and the location and the day was in the middle of Belfast's Cathedral Quarter, which is quite a bustling area of the city centre, the night before Valentine's Day. So it turned out we went outside and we walked out in the middle of the street, and it was packed, and there's 3 or 4 bars on either side with like musicians playing, I think it was Ed Sheeran or something, in the beer gardens on guitar. And we walked out, and I took one look over at Stevie, our sound guy, and he walked out with the boom pole full mask, if you will, with his headphones on. He just looked over me and just shook his head. It was like, we can't do this out here. It's too loud. You're not going to get any of the dialogue. So we only had the location for another hour, and we sort of went into, well, I internally went into panic mode, because, you know, as a good director, you have to, you know, put the brave face on for the rest of the crew and act like I know what I'm doing. So we went back in, and we had this other room to the room that the speed date was being filmed in, that was like a green room for costume and makeup and cast. And I hadn't been in it all day because we'd just been so busy. And I wandered in to get a coffee so I could work out what we were doing, you know, can I get the caffeine to wake the brain up? And I was like, do you know what, I really need the bathroom. I haven't went to the bathroom in hours because we've been doing this speed dating scene, and now the scene's kind of falling apart. And I walked out into the space where the bathroom was and kind of looked around, and I was like, hold on. And I went back and I got the DP, and I was like, come to the men's room with me. And he was like, why? And I'm like, just trust me, come into the bathroom. And Michael came in with me, and I was like, can we all fit in here to film this scene in here? And I was like, go get Stevie, is the sound good? Can we film this in this bathroom next to these urinals? And they were like, I mean, it's not the most glamorous location, but it will work. So we rejigged the scene to be he ran back into a bathroom to retreat to have his panic attack, and then him and the character of Sam have this lovely heart-to-heart about, I support you whether you want to come back into this speed date or not, because you're here to support me and I appreciate it, so I'm with you. It was a really touching scene, so I wanted to get it right, and I'm like, can we do it in this bathroom? So we ended up doing it in the bathroom, and it turned out it created a nice symmetry, because earlier in the shorts, anytime he's at home and he's disappointed in himself or he's prepping himself up, he does it to a mirror in his bathroom. And it meant just before he leaves the bathroom to, you know, kind of prepare himself one last time, he does it into the bathroom mirror. So by pure accident, it created this nice theme of the main character, Jerry, having to face himself in mirrors. But there was no mirror in the original script, they're outside. And just because of the pure noise of Belfast city centre on a busy night before Valentine's Day, we had to completely refigure the scene, and it turned out to actually work out much more poignant than it might have if we had done it where we originally thought, and it just came from needing to go to the bathroom.
Nice. That's when something that goes out of control becomes the best thing. It happens often, so thank you. Thank you for sharing that story, and thank you for telling us more about your film.
Yes.
Kat, we're going to move over to you, so similar questions. Freddie, take it away.
Similar questions, yes. So, tell us about your film and what inspired it, Kat.
Yeah, my film is called Plucked. It is a dark comedy coming of age story set in 1948. And the inspiration behind it was me. I was a really hairy child. I had kind of a unibrow and a mustache and hairy legs, and I wasn't allowed to shave until high school. And over here in the States, we have been in a perpetual strike since March with the writer's strike and the actor's strike. And so it's been kind of a weird hiatus year, kind of feels a lot like COVID. And yeah, and I just kind of one day was like, oh, I need to do something. And it kind of just came to me really quickly. And I was like, oh, interesting. I'll write about being a hairy child. And so it kind of just came from that. And I write, and I've been producing for a while, and I'm an actor, and I love period pieces. And I was like, I'm going to do a period piece. And so I ended up working with a festival here, or in California, that is a filmmaker-friendly festival. So a bunch of filmmakers sign up, and you have 2 weeks to do an entire production from head to toe.
Wow.
And you could utilize the filmmakers that have signed up with you, or you could use your own crew. It's kind of up to your own thing. But I was like, okay, a 2-week limit. How do I get money? How do I do all this stuff? So it was really the challenge of putting a film together in 2 weeks. And yeah, that's my film.
That sounds really fun. What's the festival called?
Yeah. It's called a Collaboration Filmmakers Challenge. Yeah, they've been around
it's
for
like
a while.
a 48-hour film competition on steroids.
Literally.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Sounds great.
Wow, yes.
It was fun. Yeah, it was a good time.
Sounds intense. So what are your goals going forward then, Kat?
Yeah, I put this short in a bunch of festivals. I've had a few in like locally in LA, some women's festivals. It's been really fun to watch like the reaction of the audience. And I've had a company for 4 years. We usually predominantly work in the feature space, but development takes forever. And so it's been really fun to kind of take the reins as a director and just kind of taking my smaller IPs and just making them work. And so, especially this year. And so my goal, I think, is to kind of like, it's been an interesting pivot. I've just kind of gotten into directing more, and some more opportunities this year have come up. I just did a music video. It's like a Christmas parody video about killing Mrs. Claus so she could live with Santa happily ever after, which was really fun. And I have a couple, like I have a proof of concept and another short I'm shooting next month. So it's kind of just like, I don't know, it's been kind of nuts, but I'm here for it. I'm here for the ride. I don't know where it's going to lead, but it's been a good time.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's great. That's great to hear. So tell us about something you had to overcome, the challenge that you faced during the making of your film.
Yeah, I think because it was a 2-week beginning to end kind of thing. Thank goodness I was like preemptive, like I had produced before. So I'm like, I can't just rely on this festival. I can't just rely on the resources they're giving me. I need to kind of figure this out before. So I was able to get like a really decent crew. And I was able to raise money for it. And so I think the main issue, we had a really good monitor, and the whole day it was faulty. It wouldn't work. And so my DP and we were just like kind of crouched together, like getting the shots together. And I was like, I hope this turns out okay. I mean, I hope it looks good. And of course, my other producers and my AD were like, it'd be really good if we could see a playback on something. It'd be good if we could see that shot. And it was just so, because all you had was the little, the little, the
monitor.
camera.
Yeah.
The little camera monitor. And so, yeah, it was just, that was really like stress inducing, and it came out, which was great. And I was very thrilled, but of course it was at the time hairy, but everything else was actually pretty good. It was a really well ran set, and I was really impressed. I was like, everything is working out okay. So if that was the only problem, then I was happy about it. So.
Nice.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to hear it's doing well, and you've got so many other projects in the pipeline, especially proof of concepts. If you're working in the feature space, it's great to have those ready to go.
For sure.
So yeah, very cool.
100%.
Please keep sharing, and the same for you, John. Keep sharing all of the projects that you're working on moving forward. We'd love to see them again. And that goes for everyone on this call, but we haven't found out from the others. So, Cuba.
Yes, Kuba.
Hi.
Well, tell us about your film and what inspired that.
Yep. Just one question, because I seem to be freezed on my screen, but I understand that you can see me normally.
Yeah, you're moving. You're there for us.
Okay, great. Thank you. Maybe it's better. And sorry for my English, because it's not perfect, and sometimes maybe I will have to think a bit longer to find the words. So my project started with a bet from my schoolmate, and we betted to make a movie before finishing the school, a feature film, and I won the bet. And I was so into the school, so I couldn't write the screenplay, and I found Grzegorz, who was also a debutant, and he told me that he wanted to write the screenplay. So we talked a lot about it, and I told him I need a screenplay for a few actors and one location, and that's how the idea came to life.
Fantastic.
Wow. Yes.
When bets pay off, that's a great way to start a film.
You can see a pattern emerge here of time constraints leading to success.
Well, it does. I think if you put a deadline on something, it just helps get it across the line, where it's so easy when you've got all of these hurdles to overcome and there's no deadline to just give up. So,
Definitely.
Kat, Cuba, I think you're onto something here. Yeah.
So, yes, what's next? What are your goals going forward from here, Kuba?
Oh, now I'm trying to make my movies visible for the audience. Also, a short movie from school, which I finished this year, and short documentary from school. The films are started around the festivals. I'm going to China in December for the Doc Festival, the documentary festival in China. And the short film is going to be shown in India at the beginning of December also. And I'm looking to find a way to distribute the heritage movie. No, of course, I'm also working on a new project.
And this time he froze.
For all of us.
For all of us.
Well, we'll get back to you later. If you're...
Oh, you're back. You've jumped.
You're
in another universe. You're
muted.
You're muted on your other one.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I don't know what happened. So, and I'm working on some new projects too. I'm writing my own script for a historic movie, which is insane because it will be a bit expensive. But I think this is really like my project, based on the Polish history, like the beginning of 20th century. So this will be really interesting for me. And I'm also co-working on 2 different scripts with different co-writers. One will be the romantic comedy. I always wanted to make a rom-com, so
Nice.
hope to make it great. And it will be also a bit about artificial intelligence. And the other is like a family movie. Yeah, so now I'm working on the scripts and looking for the producers and for the money.
Perfect.
Great. Yeah, best of luck with that.
Thank you. Should we go over to Julie?
Yes, Julie. Hi, Julie. So,
Hi.
can you tell us about your film and what inspired you to make the film?
Okay. Yeah, so Happen to Happen, it's about the protagonist named Nuri getting to her destination with a cat to return her friend's cat named Tori. And she faces unexpected incidents like taking a wrong bus, getting into a wrong car, losing her cell phone and credit card and stuff. Yeah, and it's a heartwarming road movie that explores the theme of personal growth and the unexpected journeys that shape our lives. So the central idea is that while we may have a clear goal in our mind, the path we take to get there can be full of surprises, mistakes, accidents, and unforeseens, and the influence of the environment. But these obstacles often serve as opportunities for growth and change.
Nice.
Wow, yeah, very inspiring. Very inspiring. So, going forward, what are your goals in the upcoming time?
So for upcoming projects, I finished writing a script for a short film. I have a couple more scripts for short and feature film. But I'm pitching for the next film to get more funded, since Happen to Happen was fully funded from my own pocket.
Wow.
For the next one, I would like to get funds. So that will be my next goal.
Have you managed to distribute Happen to Happen?
No, I only submitted to different film festivals,
Okay.
but not actually had a connection with distributor.
Okay. I think it could do well. So definitely try. There's all the different territories that you can try it as well, but there's definitely something there for sure.
Great, good to know.
Great. Yeah. So, and was there anything you had to overcome? Any challenges you faced during the making of that film?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm a full-time film composer, and this film was my first debut film as a filmmaker, film director. That was already the first big challenge for me. And as I told you, it was limited budget. Everything was paid off from my own pocket. Because of that, there were only a few people who joined the team as crews. And since there were a limited numbers of crews, everyone had to take multiple roles. And there were so many things that I had to take care. And like on the first day of the shooting, I had to take all the props and all the stuff, and there were like missing stuff, missing details. So for that first scene that we shot on the first day, we had to take so many takes in order to get to the right details and right props. So that was the most challenging thing. Yeah, and as I shared, there were only limited numbers of crews. There were 5 people, including me. So there was the main actress, DP, boom operator, assistant director, and myself. And then 2 of them were actually allergic to cats. So they had to take medicine in order to travel with the cat. Yeah, so that was one of the interesting and difficult things that we had to face. But overall, it was all fun and great experience for me.
Fantastic.
That's great. Yes. No, that's Well, that's a unique challenge with the cats.
For sure. Sure. And then finally, Sebastian. Hi.
Yes. Hi, Sebastian.
Hello.
So, yes, tell us about your film and what inspired you to make your film.
Okay, so my film is called Mi Casa, Su Casa, and the film is about a grieving couple who are forced to confront buried secrets following a home invasion from their outlandish neighbours. So the inspiration or the motivation behind this film, I guess, was as an actor and filmmaker, I wanted to kind of create something that gave me the opportunity to make films and to perform, and also give opportunities to my friends and colleagues, people who I'd worked with, people who I'd studied with before, who, like myself, realised that there are few opportunities in this industry. So that's where it kind of like stemmed from. In terms of the inspiration, so the film was created during a little bit after Brexit, and I wanted to make a film that kind of tapped into the zeitgeist, like the spirit of our times. And I was kind of following the news and the social media, and I kind of didn't want to make a political film with a political message, with my political bias. So I kind of wanted to explore what was the human story behind it. And obviously, immigration was something that kind of came up a lot in those discussions. And I kind of dug into what was, like the human aspect of it. And for me, it was to do with space and people feeling like their space was either infringed or restricted, whether it be in their communities or in their homes or so on and so forth. So that's where it kind of like came from, this idea of people feeling like their space had been restricted. Then we had another social phenomenon during the process of this filmmaking, which was obviously COVID and the lockdown. And I think that also tapped into this idea of space, people feeling like they were restricted in their homes, being forced in these enclosed spaces with the people that you love, like your family members. And I began to think about, what happens when you're restricted in terms of your space, and you're going through, like traumatic experience, as many people did during lockdown. You had people with family members and friends who were either sick or, who passed away tragically, and not being able to see them. But what happens to those relationships when you are forced to deal with that in enclosed spaces? And what then happens when the situation changes and suddenly you're forced into having to interact with people on a grand scale, possibly people who have very different views or different outcomes to you. So it wasn't the aim of the film isn't to be a political piece. It's to explore these sort of like questions. And the actual title of the film, Mi Casa, Su Casa, is a nod to Tarantino, because obviously it's a line in the film Pulp Fiction. And during the process of creating this film, I remember seeing a documentary, I think it was on YouTube, which talked about how Tarantino enjoyed taking scenes from other movies that he enjoyed and then repurposing them in his own movies, and which provided a different meaning in a different context. So this is the genesis of the story. And I felt if I wanted to explore a story which was to do with space and people feeling like their space was infringed, home invasion. So I wanted to go down the route of looking at home invasion movies. And one of my favorites was Funny Games. Mm-hmm. And there's a scene where one of the characters comes into the house and he wants to borrow eggs. And it's such a classic scene. I won't ruin it for the audiences, but it has this sort of like real intense sort of like build up in a situation that is very seemingly mundane. And this was one of the first scenes that I wrote in Mi Casa, Su Casa, like a neighbor coming over to borrow something, and then everything sort of like escalates. So that kind of is a bit about the film.
Amazing. And you mentioned earlier about the rug or the art behind you. Do you want to elaborate a little bit more on that? Because I'm sure people watching will be like, that's a very cool background.
a bit trippy, isn't it?
Yeah, I keep catching myself looking into the eyes.
So there is a scene in the film, and I have to thank my girlfriend Ola, who's the production and set designer for this movie, and also a brilliant artist, I have to say. And she was responsible for sourcing all of these. This is a prop from the movie. There is a particular scene in the movie where everything changes and goes into almost like a fantasy no spoil. I shouldn't be saying so much, but this is one of the props that appears in the movie. Thank you to Oliver for sourcing it and many of the other materials that we used to make this film.
Fantastic.
Amazing. Yes. So, what's next? Do you want to let us know what your goals are going forward from this?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at the moment, this was the first festival we entered in, so it's great to win. Thank you, everyone, for
well done.
the votes, and thank you very much for the support of Lift Off and Pinewood Studios that I know you guys are in at the moment. So we want to do a festival run with this movie into next year. We've got a private screening with the cast and the crew in a couple of weeks. No one has seen this movie, I think, apart from myself and obviously your viewers. And we kind of want to perhaps develop it into a feature. I'm having a look at different ideas around developing a feature film. For me personally, I'm working on a project with my dad, Jamal Ali, who's a screenwriter and director, predominantly worked in the 70s and 80s, and he directed the Black British Theatre, which was very successful during his time. And I want to kind of like explore his history and also his creative process, and maybe get some inspiration from my own work.
Very cool. And where are you planning on doing this cast and crew screening?
Fulham.
In Fulham? Perfect.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, good luck with that. And to everyone who's here, thank you for sharing your stories, and just good luck with everything that you're working on. Now you can
still
reverse.
have a question left.
We can reverse it, and they can ask us questions.
I still have
instead.
a question left for Sebastian.
Okay, go for it.
Which is if you had any challenge to overcome.
Oh yes, yeah.
In the making of
this. Yes. We had a number of challenges making this film. A number. I think that the biggest challenge would be, being super honest with you, just prior to us filming, one of our actors passed away, Anjali, and we kind of had this sort of like, obviously like this, should we continue making the film, should we not? What would he want? So in the end, we did proceed with the film, and we had to kind of like make some changes. And then following the completion of the film, we had another one of our cast members pass away, another one of my closest friends. So that made the actual kind of John Carl, who features in the film, in his first film role, I guess. So that it was really, obviously it was really tragic. And it made completing the film and going through post-production and having to kind of like look at the shots that we had with John Carl, very difficult. But, we persevered. It took a little bit longer, but we've obviously added a dedication to those guys who are, beautiful human beings and tragically missed. But, we just felt we should add a dedication to honour their memory with the movie.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cuba, the same question to you as well then.
Sorry for forgetting you.
Yeah,
so my movie was only like fighting the alcohol, and actually it began 10 days before the shoot, when our main location appeared to be not available for us, so we had to switch the location about 150 kilometers. 4 days before the shoot, the main actress destroyed her knee, so her leg problem is not the film thing. We used it, but she had to play with this strange thing on her leg, and we had to have the physiotherapist on the set who would take care of her all the time. And yeah, the first shot we were planning to do was unable to make because the aperture wireless motor doesn't work. So we were like 2 hours back with the first day and first hour of making the film. But I think the first day was I think it was the 13th day, one of the last of the shoot, and we had like 18 hours day long shooting with a fire because the house was burned down. We built the wall of the house. It's not in the movie right now, but I'm working on the longer version of the movie where those deleted scenes will be available. And the same day, like in the morning, because the fire took place during the night, so we had the fire brigade and the pyrotechnics and all this stuff. And after shooting this during the night and some night scenes, we had lake scenes and the scenes where the camera is going into the water. And actually, the camera crew had all the stuff that they needed, but they didn't check it before. So also putting the camera into the waterproof box took like 3 hours. So after 15 hours of work, we had to wait 3 more hours and whole night to put the kind box and to shoot the scenes at the lake. So I think this was the worst day.
That sounds super challenging. And yeah, I don't envy you for that day at all. But yeah, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for us or for each other after you've heard each other's stories? No? Well, in that case, I just want to say thank you. We did have quite a lot of people watching, and they still are watching. So if any of our audience have any questions for our filmmakers, now's your chance to put it in the chat room. We'll give you a couple of minutes to do that. And if not, we're going to round up the stream. Feel free to stay on the stream as we kind of bring down the YouTube section of it. But yeah, incredible stories and good luck. And Sebastian, I feel so touched by what you had to overcome. So yeah, everyone else, please stay in touch with the projects that you're working on next. And yeah, you're now part of the Lift Off community. So do send us your content. But
yeah, definitely.
Just want to say thank you. I have to leave for the next meeting.
Absolutely.
It was a great pleasure. And yeah, thank you, Natalie and Pilot Studios. And see you soon, hope.
See you soon, Cuba.
Yeah,
thank
see you soon. Thank you.
Congratulations, all of you.
Bye.
Bye.
And no other comments have come through, so I'm going to shut this down now, but stay there and we can just round it up ourselves. So thank you and goodbye from us.
Goodbye from us.
Bye.
Yes. Till next time.